My name is Thembeka Maqungo. I am the M&E manager at Show Me Your Number. The module that I will do from the Toolkits training is approaches to documenting human rights violations and how to monitor and ensure that communities are able to participate. In this module, what we are focusing on is firstly how to identify the human rights violations and to ensure that after they are identified, they are documented correctly. And lastly, to ensure that we continue to monitor so that there can be change in these communities. A participant who will participate in this module, at the end of it, will have learned how to do documentation correctly. Will learn how to make sure that there is correct monitoring at district level. Human rights violations are done in every community. Firstly, we need to understand that every human being has human rights. In South Africa, they are protected in the Bill of Rights. Since they are protected in the Bill of Rights, it means that the state is the custodian that has been given a responsibility to protect the rights of all individuals in the country. Now, to make sure that these rights are protected, the state as the one who is the custodian, if they fail to protect the rights of an individual, they fail to respect the rights of an individual, and they fail to promote the rights of an individual, then that is a human rights violation. When it comes to individuals, on a daily basis, they violate each other. But now the responsibility is given to the state to protect those rights that have been violated by individuals. With this program, it focuses on the rights that are not protected by the state, because as an individual, the first point of call is the state. So when the state fails you, then it means that you have no recourse. So with the program, we try and make sure that those who are violated by the states, they are documented and they are given the right form of recourse. We say the state doesn't protect one's rights when they fail when you as an individual, you go and report a case and then the police do not assist you. So they fail to respect your rights as a human being regarding the case. They fail to respect your rights as a human being. They fail to promote your rights. Again, when it comes to the health facilities, if you visit a health facility and when you get there, you don't get enough information about the medication that you are taking, it means again they have failed to respect your rights, they have failed to protect your rights, and they have failed to promote your rights. So now, if you are able to identify this, then it means that you can go to the right places to ensure that you are being helped. But now the big question becomes, how does this help us? Why do we need to document? We document because we want to build evidence to make sure that in that community, people are aware that people's rights are being violated. We document to give voice to people who are being in a position who do not have the power to change things, who do not have the power to make things happen. So when we document, we allow them to share those stories with us so that we can be able to assist them where they need to be assisted. We document as well to improve human rights at district level, because if we do documentation, it means that we are making the country aware that in these districts, these are the kind of issues that people have to tolerate on a daily basis. We also document so that programs that assist people can be taken to these communities. Now the question will become, how do I do this documentation? How do I go about in the communities to make sure that we are able to get these stories? It means that we need to conduct interviews. But now when we do conduct these interviews, we have to be sensitive to the people we are working with. Firstly, your client has been victimized already or violated, and they've been to the health facilities or to the police, but they didn't receive the necessary help. So when they come to you, they are oversensitive. So we need to, firstly, before we can even take the story, make sure that the client understands that whatever they share with you is confidential. So they don't need to fear that what the messages or the information they share with you can be found around the community. So you must stress the confidentiality part. Secondly, the story must be from the person's mouth. You don't have to add your own story on them. The interview process is very sensitive and very important because it offers the client an opportunity to open up. You need to find out from the client which space or setting will be more suitable for the interview to be conducted. Remember, if it's a young girl who's staying at home and maybe visited a facility for contraceptives and the nurse was not able to give her the contraceptives, it might be uncomfortable to go and interview her in front of her parents. So you need to find out from her, where can you meet, and so that you can take the story. And again, if the young girl or the client is not willing to continue with the story, again, you need to stop. You don't have to push it because it's their story and they have been violated. Then the next step, after establishing the setting that will be suitable for the interview, is to find out whether the client, as he or she is sharing the story, is comfortable for the story to be shared with others. Because sometimes you find that she wants to share the story, but she's not willing for you to take it further. I'll make an example. Maybe this young person is staying with an uncle and the uncle is the breadwinner. She's not comfortable with how it is happening, but if you pursue that, it will mean that the uncle who is the breadwinner will know and she might lose her place to stay. So we need to be sensitive, even if it's gender-based violence related. You'll find that the woman would share the story, someone who's living with HIV, she shares the story that the boyfriend has taken away the medication. But now when you say you want to pursue that, she will tell you that I'm not, at this point in time, I'm not willing that you pursue that. You need to respect that, meaning that you will document, but you will not take further steps. After you've agreed on the information that you've gathered that it is going to be shared, then you can continue with the interview. Again, with the interview process, it's very sensitive and very important to make sure that your client feels comfortable. If you are interviewing somebody who's much older, maybe you are a female and he is a male, and he doesn't feel comfortable sharing all the stories with you, then you must find an alternative person that will be comfortable to share the story. That is the interview process. Now, after we have interviewed and collected and documented, it means that now it must be referred to the necessary institutions that will be able to assist. If you are working with Show Me Your Number, then it means that after you have documented, there is a standing committee at district level that will assist in that process. And if that at district level it cannot be resolved, it means that it can be escalated to Show Me Your Number, who in turn, if it has a legal implications, will escalate it to pro bono. Now, after the documentation and the referral processes, the client needs feedback. So constant feedback is very important so that the clients that you refer know that you are not only taking their stories just to document and not give them a feedback. Remember, as we are dealing with clients that are already victimized, it's very important that we make sure that they find trust in us and they believe that we are there to assist. These are the approaches to human rights violations and documentation. And when they are done properly, we are able to assist the communities so that the communities can be able to understand their human rights and they can be able to help themselves and not be further victimized.
Siyaphila. Okay, mama. Igama ngusiphamandla ngwampungose ne. So I work for the organization by the name of Show Me Your Number. So what we do is record my human rights violations for different reasons. But the most important one is to ensure that we help the victims and ensure that we receive justice. And it. So after you had told me ukuthi kwenzakaleni kuwe outside, ngibonile ukuthi setting bese kuyo was not professional ukuthi singaxoxa because it's not confidential and abantu bebezolalela indaba zakho. Angithi? So before we begin, mama, ngifuna ukutshela ukuthi why is the reason we do what we do, right? So njengoba ngishilo ngisebenzela i-Show Me Your Number. So what we do is we record human rights violations. Yeah. In recording those, we try and ensure ukuthi the victims are helped and we direct you to relevant authorities. By relevant authorities, there are many different. We're speaking of our community organizations that assist people who have actually experienced something similar to yours or actually same as yours. Or speaking of the duty bearers, police, psychosocial support, and also amalo the clinic services. So your information can be used for different reasons. Ne? So ungathuki if it happens that you do record this information and then next time usuthinta omunye umuntu because other people who are working on the case might actually contact you. Kungase mina record the case. Ne? So I want to know, Mama, are you comfortable with actually sharing your story with me?
Yep.
Okay, Mama. So I'll be just recording it on our online system, ne? Okay. To ensure. So ngizocela umama angichazele ukuthi ubani gama?
Nontokozo.
Nontokozo. Sibongo.
Mathe.
Uhlala phi?
Ethembisa.
Thembisa. Thembisa ifola ngaphansi kwayiphi district?
Ekuruleni.
So okay, mama. So ngizocela ungitshele story, mama, and wazi ukuthi if you do not feel comfortable with sharing anything, ungabi nankinga, we can stop, and then when you feel comfortable we can proceed, ne? Okay. So sacela ungixoxela kabanzi ukuthi what happened and bekunini, what time, and who are the perpetrators?
Bengisemsebenzini ngisebenza as a sex worker.
Okay.
Kwafika amaphoyisa lawa ama-CPF bathi bayasibopha bahamba nathi police station. Laba bebahamba nami zange bafika nami police station. Endleleni bangidlengula. Mangiyavula icala police station ngathola ukuthi kulapha abasebenza khona. Amaphoyisa zange afuna ukungivulela icala. Bangihleka bathi ngidlengula kanjani nge-sex work. Ngisebenza leyo msebenzi ngase ngijwayele. So bangingabela ukuvula icala.
Ungaba describe ama ubabona?
Ngingaba describe ngibona.
Okay, abantu baziyo or it was just random people in the community?
Amaphoyisa asebenza as ama-CPF.
Okay. CPF. Okay, ma'am. So ugawa report the case to the police?
Cha, amaphoyisa baye bangitshela ukuthi mangizama ukuvula icala bazongibopha ngoba umsebenzi wami ukhomithethweni.
Okay, so I'm sorry to hear that, ma'am. Okay. No, we're going to deal with this kahle ne, ma'am. Ngizokurefer to another SR or organization esisebenza nayo ne. So they work specifically with sex workers. So what they are going to offer you, offer is psychosocial support and also counseling. And then we're also going to escalate the matter to one of our other PRs, seventh and abane legal background, which is a pro bono. So what they're going to do is then they're going to sit down and see if it's in a case. And then if it's possible to sort out the issue, or rather see sort it out of court and take it directly with EIP, which is the police watchdog. So it directs it to them, and then we will bring the police nabo bonke labantu who are involved to order. But the first thing esizama ukuyenza mama is to ensure ukuthi sikuse clinic to ensure ukuthi awuzange ukuthola ama diseases so that you receive medical help from the clinic.